Right now we're in studio with Senator John McCAIN, who is actually stuck in that traffic that Detour Dan was talking about.
Yep.
The senator is live in studio.
Yeah, it was nice just to call us at 4. We got you on the phone for a little bit. Now we got you in studio. It's good to see you again.
Glad to see you guys. On the boycott, I hope that people understand who support a boycott, who gets hurt by a boycott, who works really throughout our hospitality industry, the hotels, restaurants, etc., Hispanics.
Yep.
So what's the point in hurting the people that they are allegedly trying to be of assistance to?
And what bothers me is we've got our own local elected political hero,
Raul Grijalva,
out of Tucson, who's saying
he started this whole thing, really.
I think it's disgraceful.
And of course, not to be blunt, but he is Hispanic as well, so it's kind of like, why would you want to hurt people in your own community and the people of Arizona? I mean, you don't have to like the law. Okay, I get that. But why would you call for a boycott in an already troubled economic time in a troubled economic state?
You said it better than I can.
I could be your speechwriter.
You could. Yeah, I don't get it. Look, Arizona is the best place in America to live and raise a family and work, and we know that by the companies and corporations that come here. And we have to get the message out that this law does not violate anyone's rights, that is no racial profiling allowed. It's got to be repeated over and over and over again, that there is no reason to stop anyone for reasons of ethnicity.
So why now? Why we've already gone through these types of debates for years. Why is this law so explosive on both sides?
Well, I would argue one thing is, and that in the last 2 to 3 years, what has happened on the border has gone almost out of control. I mean, 3 Americans were murdered in Juarez. Our rancher, Rob Krentz, was murdered. Our consulate was attacked in Nuevo Laredo. The drug cartels are literally taking over, and their brutality is unbelievable. And so there's the fear of that. And second of all, of course, is the continued flow of illegal immigrants across our border. I mean, it's been across our border. My understanding, over half the people who are illegally cross the Arizona border. So
Through
I think
Tucson,
the frustration,
Tucson sector.
Yeah, Tucson sector. So you get people who live in the southern part of our state that have their property violated, their homes broken into, and the list goes on and on. And again, these cartels, they are the cruelest. These human smugglers, they're the cruelest people. You saw where we busted that organization that bring people up in vans from Tucson to Phoenix. Then they hold them for ransom in a drop house.
Yep.
And they beat them and they mistreat them. And then they're distributed throughout the rest of the nation. Arizona has become the hub of all this.
We're the second for kidnappings in the world. We're the second major city for that.
Yeah, and again, the brutality is, and what's being inflicted on the people by the coyotes, that ought to be enough. Let's have our human rights activists angered and irate to secure our border, so you stop this terrible
notice Amnesty International
by the coyotes.
Amnesty International is not down in Nogales or in Laredo.
Yeah.
Senator, let's talk about what Janet Napolitano did. She put drones on the Texas border and not the Arizona border. Did she slap us in the face after this law? I mean, isn't that why she came out and said, let's put this in Texas and not do anything with Arizona because we came up with this new law?
I have no idea except to say that we have drones in Arizona, not enough, and they only fly during the day. They should be out there.
They should be out there 24 hours,
24 hours a day. That's right. And we need the guard down there. Look, the only thing the drug cartel people respect is a person in uniform. So the presence of the National Guard down there has an effect on them as well. And we need to get the kind of surveillance that we are using, frankly, in the Yuma sector. A quick story, and I'm nowhere short on time. We had a big problem with illegal alien immigrants crossing into the Goldwater Ranges. We had to cancel missions from Luke. The Marines and the local in the Border Patrol, when they set up surveillance, there's hardly any intrusion into the Berry Goldwater Range now.
Right.
It can be done. We can seal our borders.
Why don't we then? Is it just because both sides in Congress can't come together?
I mean, is it a conspiracy between big business, campaign funding, and people who just want open borders for cheap labor? Is that how simplistic it is?
I think it's a whole lot of factors, but it really boils down to a responsibility of any government is to secure the borders and secure the well-being of its citizens. And I don't know all the reasons why. I know that a big contract with Boeing that was supposed to set up this SBI net turned into a complete failure. We had a hearing on that on the Homeland Security Committee. About $770 million went down the drain. So there's a lot of problems, but we can get the border secure.
All right, so
we have to.
And by the way, if the next Mexican election takes place as it may take place now, they're going to accommodate. The next president of Mexico may accommodate to the drug cartels like they did before Uribe in Colombia. We got problems now.
So will Congress act on immigration because of what Arizona did with the law? Is that something that the Obama administration is going to tackle this year?
Yeah, does that go to the front burner because of what's happening here in Arizona?
Because he's talking about financial reform. He already did the health care, and then it was financial reform. Is immigration this year?
I don't think so, because I don't think they will do enough to secure the border. The border has got to be secured first. Look, what's the point in passing, as I said, a comprehensive immigration bill if the border is not secure and people and drugs keep pouring across it? Then it's pointless. And again, when several years ago, 3 years ago, when I had proposed comprehensive immigration reform, I said we got to secure the borders first. The situation on the border has dramatically worsened in the intervening 2 to 3 years.
And Janet Napolitano would disagree with you. And I would say that
well,
she's
she said
wrong.
it the other day. Remember, she said that's the most secure border. I'm from there, and we laughed at her.
Well,
we laughed.
She hasn't been down to the southern part of our state lately. But again, we can do it. We need to do it, and then we should work for a temporary legal temporary worker program, and find out ways that people may be able to earn citizenship by maybe going back to the country they came from and then reapplying to come back to the United States. But that has to come after we've secured our borders.
You're running for re-election. Obviously, you're doing pretty well in the polls against your opponent, J.D. Hayworth. But is there any part of you that down the road would consider the Joe Lieberman or Charlie Crist avenue of an independent and separate yourself a little bit?
I can never do anything like that. Who's the nominee of my party for president of the United States?
Right, but it seemed to be successful for Lieberman, and now Crist may be successful going that route. So
not for you, huh?
Oh my God, I cannot. Well, I mean, the scenario is just not imaginable to me. I can never imagine such a
Senator, it's great to see you. Tell Megan we said hello, and thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for your good work. And my friends, tell all your friends, we are not going to violate anyone's human rights. We will respect their rights, and we will not have anything go on that is not in federal law.
Thanks, Senator.